Hello everyone, welcome back to an episode of my Minecraft Let's Play. As always, this is Martin. We are in the field again. Construction is well underway now. I've got all of the basic rings, all the inner rings done, at least a shell of each one, and I need to go around on the underneath of each of them and place half slabs. But that is now, the inner rings are now mob proof. It's taking a while to render in, it's a bit odd. But it goes up all the way to the top of the map, level 150 at the moment. There's 6 blocks left to work with at the top there. I think that is everything loaded in, and as you can see, it's not sort of giving the effect I'd intended it to. I had intended it to go to a finite point where you can't really see anything, but at the moment it sort of just stops. Let me get into position, I'll show you. Even though there's clouds there, it still just goes up. Hang on. Let's go up to the top, get a better view of our surroundings. Yeah, so the cloud layer is sort of working. It does look quite nice. However, it does sort of obscure the whole shape. Oh yeah, it hadn't loaded in properly. So I think that's all of it loaded in now. And as you can see, it doesn't really trail off to a certain cut-off point, it just stops. So, even though it's not as I intended it to look like, it still looks quite nice and it's a good experiment. Now, I said last week, if anyone can guess what it is, I'll tell them. Well, no one's guessed it, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because I figure it's hard enough with me having to skirt around the subject anyway, so I might as well just explain what it is you're looking at. This is the space elevator from the Halo franchise. This is probably my most ambitious build, seeing as it's such a huge scale. I've timed that perfectly, haven't I? The sun's setting and now I can't go down because of the mobs. Great! Yeah, so I'm not a fanboy, as it were, but I do have played the games, I do like them, and I'd always seen that giant tower, the space elevator, and wondered, what on earth it was. And then I got around to playing the games, and I realised what it was. And then, when I started playing Minecraft, I sort of realised no one had attempted building it. I'd seen lots of other things. I've seen the Mines of Moria from Lord of the Rings, I've seen that built. I've seen huge buildings, cathedrals and stuff from old medieval architecture, but I'd never seen anything like this done, so I thought I'd give it a go. And even though it hasn't gone to the top of the map, it doesn't look like I want it to, it's still interesting to have. Let's sleep here and skip the rest of that night. Right, so that is, now that's all loaded in, I can go and get a better perspective from over here. Hopefully there's no hidden creepers ready to blow up in my face. Yes, so clouds, hang on, I'll just remove the clouds now, so leave them for now. It looks quite nice. These rings will probably go up to about cloud level. They are quite large, so I'm not sure how many I'll place. But like I said, the picture I've been working from, this one, the inner rings go all the way to the top and you can't actually see them stop. They go on and on and on, almost forever, literally into space. And these ones only go up a part of the way, so it's difficult to create that effect here where we have a limited skybox. I think what I might do, very optimistic as it is, I'm going to leave it as it is, and if they, Mojang rather, increase the sky level, the limit again, I can then add on more to the top of this tower. So I'm going to leave it open-ended, so in the future if the opportunity arises I can add on more, make it more accurate to the picture I'm working from. So that project is by no means wrapped up and by no means finished either. It's going to be a long-term work in progress. The reason I haven't done the undersides of those, all of the inner rings, is, and the reason I haven't finished that platform there, is because I've run out of stone. I used a lot of it. I used all of it on the half slabs on top of each of those rings, which is about two and a half inventories full. So now we're going to need to get some more stone. Now there's two options. Well, my next project, my next plan, is sort of tied into this build. As you can see down here, there is a pit, and that goes up to level 10. And my plan there is to, at the bottom there, go outwards in a giant circle, and then create a bubble, a pocket of air underground, maybe going up to there. So between there and there, so that's about 40 blocks high, big cavern. I want to create a big circular room. Now the inspiration for that one is from the TARDIS from Doctor Who, the TV series. This one. So as you can see, it's a very large circular room. It looks very old, or sort of organic because of the stone, and I want to sort of recreate that in here. So this will be, under there would be the central hub. I'd have rooms branching out from each of them, and then obviously this up here, and I'm going to turn this into an actual working elevator. So the reason I can remove this gravel, and the whole thing will come coming down, so I come crashing down, and then I can build a working piston elevator in that space there. And that's what this ring here is for. This is the size of the chute, as it were, which will go upwards. So it will be, the standing spaces will be in each of those. It's the piston spiral elevator. I've built a couple before, and so basically it works on the basis you stand in one spot and you have stairs pointing towards you. You turn on the pressure plate, you get pushed onto that stair block, it pushes you up a block, and then it's timed so another piston will fire momentarily afterwards and knock you up another one, and again and again and again, and so on and so forth. And it's not the fastest elevator by any means, but it is quite fun. And also I've seen other piston elevators where it's something crazy, like on the flat worlds that you can go up to bedrock, from bedrock to the top of the map in about 13 seconds. You know, that's crazy. The only disadvantage of that elevator is that if you misstep while you're going up or accidentally press any buttons, it will lock up while you're in it, and 60 blocks up you don't want to get jammed, because then you have to break your way out and you will fall and you will die, and it can be fatal. So there's now two options I can do with this. I can either go down into this pit and start hollowing it out myself, which will take a huge amount of time, or I could start building another tool, as it were, for construction. The plan is, well, the tool rather, is a mob farm, not a XP farm which I've already built, and the mob farm, which is just, it indiscriminately just spawns mobs and drops them, and then when they drop, they die and you get their loot, and the idea is just to harvest gunpowder from the creepers which drop, and then I can make TNT and hollow out this cavern much quicker. So as I said, I'm sort of just between ideas at the moment. I'm not entirely sure how I should go about this, and I want to be able to capture a lot of it on camera, but it's difficult if a lot of it is, like you're seeing here, just repetitive mining. I'm not sure how interesting that's going to be. See, I want to go out quite far away. Oh, that's another thing I'm not sure. Void fog, as you can see here, I've lost the view to the surface. As soon as I go up to about here, that's level 10, so this must be maybe 18, 16 or 18, and now I can't see the surface, so I might actually start branching out from here. Let's do a couple of tests quickly. Do I get void fog here? Come on, stay on the steps, stay on the block. Well, there. Yes, I start to get it there. So, and there as well, actually. What is going on? Oh, I see the lighting changes quicker as you're going up than as you're going down. Right, I have to play around with that. But I'm going to start branching out that network of passageways down there and start getting the basic room outline done. As I said earlier, it's a big circular room with sort of crystal-y, sandstone-y coloured pillars branching downwards as like roof supports. So I intend to start work on that. Again, very long, tedious process. Next question is, where do I want to put the mob farm? Because it is a mob farm, essentially is a large tower, not by no means as tall as this, but it's a large tower which starts off at a certain distance. So there'll be one long pillar which starts off at a certain distance and then carries on upwards for the rest of it, but not to the top, because basically you're trying to capture the best point where mobs spawn. I don't think mobs spawn a certain distance close to you, you know, that you have to be a certain distance away from a spot, say between here and, for example, just draw this out on the floor here in 2D rather than 3D. Say that's me. For example, mobs have to be a certain distance away for him to spawn, so that would be the closest point they could spawn to the player. Now then, they'll continue to spawn outside that radius for a certain point until they're completely out of range, at which point this is the furthest they can spawn away from the player. So this essentially is the best spot for capturing the mobs. So now if you can imagine turning that upwards as if it's lying on a piece of paper, lift it upwards and convert it into a tower proportions. So then you have a large column which is just the chute, and then the base of the mob block, and then the top of it. So it's going to look like a giant ice cream sticking up in the air, and depending on what material I make it out of, it will or will not resemble an ice cream. I'm just going to grab a drink here. Right. So after this, after I've skipped night, I'm going to go have a look around for possible places to put this, because like I said, I don't want to place it too close to this thing because it will just break up the view, sort of. I don't want to have too many things in the skyline at one point, so I'm going to go this way because as I said last week, when 1.3 comes out, I want to explore the desert on that far side, so I'm not going to touch that area. And what was that? I thought I heard something. I haven't explored this area much over here on this side. What I've done also, I've found all of the remaining villagers and boxed him in so he doesn't die. At least he should be. What? Oh no. Oh dear. Well, that could be problematic. We've lost a villager. After I realised that I was up there and it was going night and the mobs were breaking this village apart. Okay, we've got 2 in here. Those are the 2 I originally placed. So now where is our 3rd and final villager? He may be dead. Or he may have just glitched out. Nope. Okay, right, so just forget it. Also, I'm hoping on the far side of that desert over there, I'm hoping I'll find a jungle, and I haven't yet found one. And so if I do, I'll be able to, I'm likely to find a jungle temple thing in there, which is quite cool. Oh, hello. Late starter. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I should be looking for. I don't want to destroy this area entirely because this is quite a nice area, but then again I don't want to have to build it. See, one of the options I have at the moment is I could build it partly into a mountain. That would camouflage a lot of it. It would make the top of the mountain look horrendous though. However, if I did that in combination with sinking the whole thing downwards a bit, it could work quite well. What I mean by that is if I make the top of the say I make the top of the mob spawner start there and the bottom of it say however far down it needs to go, and then the collection zone can be even further down at the bottom. Now that keeps it very well camouflaged and away from the surface, but it also means I have to travel down to the bottom of the world every time I want to use it. Let's see, I've been around here before because I had to collect the cows from here, so I'm not rendering anything new, I hope, but it doesn't really matter over here. I'm trying to bear in mind that our central hub cavern will be very low down, so the branching rooms coming out from there are also going to be low down. So that will, if I say had the mob farm at the top here, I'd have to have a whole series of staircases going up and down between various constructions I have on the surface and underground. And as I said, I'd rather have things underground because then I don't have to worry about poking my head out and worrying about creepers blowing everything up every time I return to the surface. So I think I am going to build it under here. It's relatively close, and another advantage is I've already been caving a lot around here and lit up a lot of the caves, so mob spawning should already be improved just on the basis that they can't spawn in the caves because they're all lit up. So it should encourage them to spawn inside the mob farm, which I plan to build. I have a knack, it seems, for creating constructions which follow a very repetitive nature. This mob farm will indeed just be a series of rooms and then repeated again and again and again. So again, not really riveting footage, but it's good fun, and the end result is definitely worth it because I just have an almost endless supply of TNT which I can use anywhere I want really. I can use it to clear that entire cavern in one go if I wanted. That would be messy, but it'd be good fun to watch. I'm just thinking, should I place it near the coast? Oh no, I've just realised one crucial thing. If I place the mob farm in the field here, it will mean that mobs will also spawn on the surface, or they could spawn in the tower. And that's like, which would you rather? Would you rather spawn in a very dark room, or would you rather spawn in a very dark field, you know? So that's not going to work. Now looking over here, that's a very big oceanic pit, as it were. So I think we're going to go over there, because the advantage of working in a sea is that mobs can't spawn on water, and we don't have any. There's one block over there, but we don't have anything on the surface of this ocean, and so all we need to do is now clear out all the caves below, light them all up, and then we'll have mob spawning wherever we want. So in addition to having it underground, we'll also have it working at a very efficient rate, but we need to move away from the land to prevent mob spawning there, which in turn means that we're going to have a very long passageway between here and our hub. Darn, what's that? That's Farm Island, XP Farm Island. We're having a bit of a chunk error load, aren't we here? Chunk load error, rather. Come on, hurry up, I'm getting close. Okay, that looks like a ravine. Perfect. I've just realised I've just planted myself in the middle of the ocean with only a little bit of wood and no bed. Great. Is that a ravine? It's just a fissure. It's just a tiny little dirt trench. Okay, so I think that's far. It must be far enough away to prevent mob spawning over there, and it's also far enough away from over here. I'll go over and clear that little blob of land, wherever it was. Yeah, over there. Oh, hang on a second. It's curious. Very natural basin going on over here. No, let's leave it. Oh, I don't know. Trying to find a good spot which looks like an easy place to get into the crust of the world without having to bore a passageway the whole way down. Okay, so let me just think a second. On our platform, like that. Okay. Now, if we start working, which way was? Okay, I'm going to need to make a marker so I know which way is home, because this is going to be a very isolated place, and if I end up wandering too far that way I might never find my place. So, dirt block. Oh my, I've just realised I've made a mess of the water, because every time I replace a block of water it's going to do that weird Well, that's frustrating. Okay, well, I have to clean that up once I finish here. Torch. Let's get a workbench done again. Furnace. It's almost like starting out again on one of those skyblock challenges. Let's see, ditch that. Okay. Forgot to bring wool. It's a great one. Now we need to get downwards. I think I'm going to place it. The mob farm is going to be circular because that's probably the best way to get it working. Yeah, just had a quick drink there. If I made it square, a lot of the space would be unused. I think the circle design is probably the most efficient, and it also doesn't look as horrendous because it actually has some sort of three-dimensional structure to it. Whereas if I built it in square shape, it would leave, well, it'd just be 4 flat walls, and that's very boring, isn't it? I'm not going to have enough ladders, am I? No. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? Let's leave 8 in case I need to make a chest. I'm trying to save the minimal amount of wood, but trying to think what I might need in half an hour. 24. 30. We're at 64 at the moment. That may just get us underwater. I'm just going to mine out that block because that saves us having to place a ladder. We just use it as a step out of the water. It also means we can have a water airlock. We just swim out of that one and jump up, so that saves another ladder. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, it's okay. Seabed's not far down as I thought it would be. Not sure what I should be thinking about that. I think I should it be deeper? I'm not sure. I've built some glass domes underwater before in other worlds I've played on, including single players, and the ocean seems to be a lot deeper than this. So I'm not sure if I just picked a shallow patch. Oh well, now we have a clear path down, and this is going to take some time. Let's get some light going on so we can see what's going on down here. I think the tower needs to be about maybe 30 or 40 blocks tall, and I think its diameter is roughly 20, possibly. I'm not sure if it's any larger than the smaller of our rings in this space elevator build, so we should be alright for materials, because I don't intend to make it out of wool this time, because if it does get set on fire it all goes at once, whereas if one of the rings, or if any of the rings on the space elevator get hit, firstly it's only one ring and none of them are attached to each other. Oh, hello. And secondly, there is a lot of stone blanketing most of the layers of wool, so that the fire spread is very limited. So that will sort of limit us to what we can really do. I don't want to use wood because, again, that can be set on fire and it will just make a heck of a mess if and when it does go up. I also want something which is resistant to creeper blasts, but then I've just realised nothing is. Right, sorry about that, had a visitor. What was I saying? Oh yes, yeah, creepers can blow up almost any block really. The only concern about block destructibility is when you're dealing with ghasts in the nether, because they can't blow up all blocks. I think they're limited to I think it's dirt, gravel, soul sand, sand, and other soft blocks like leaf blocks, etc. But I'm not sure why you'd ever try to place leaf blocks in the nether. That's just silly. Let's have a think. So creepers can blow up any blocks, which means there's no way of keeping them safe from creepers. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought completely. There's no block which is immune to creepers, which means we just have to pick a block which we can replace easily in the event that it does get blown up, because it will. There's no way it won't. We're going to be working then if I have a situation where I accidentally switch the lights off while I'm in there, or if the lights don't go off, or if, you know, random mob spawn, it just drops down in my face. We're going to have a bad time. So I think, right, okay, so now the only real determining factor is, will it set on fire? And wood does, and wool does. So it's going to be stone, and it's going to be a lot of stone. Oh dear. Actually, I had a thought. Wooden half slabs don't set on fire, and I know in 1.3 they're removing the ability for that. They're making sure that half slabs don't. Sorry, as of 1.3, half slabs will set on fire, and they're moving the title. I think they're changing the title from half slab to oak slab, and then wooden half slab will be then replaced by the new burnable version of itself. That comes in addition to the individually coloured wood slabs of the original wood species. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a stockpile of wooden half slabs. Yeah, it's a good idea. Seeing as they are going to be going out of, well, they're not going to be able to be made anymore as of 1.3, so I've got a few days, 3 days, it's Friday today, to get that working. So if I go back to base now and start harvesting trees, I should have enough wood and we should be alright. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need though, that's a big question. It took, how many? It took 2 double chests, no sorry, 2 inventories full, which is almost a double chest, just over a double chest full of half slabs, stone half slabs, to complete every ring, the top side of every ring on the inner rings of the space elevator. So I'm not sure how many I'm going to need. I think it's going to be about that. To be on the safe side though, I think I'm going to make, let's go crazy. Let's make 4 double chests. I'm going to make 4 double chests full of wooden half slabs, and that should be enough for ever, really, because then that'll be the only wooden block which can't set on fire. I think. I know mob spawning can spawn on the underside of a wooden half slab, but that's not going to be a problem because we want them to spawn there anyway. And if we double them up, it makes a full block, which still isn't fire burnable, but it behaves like a regular block, a whole block. Right, so now that it's daytime, let's start swimming on back to coast. I should have made a boat. What was I thinking? Oh dear. Cup of tea. Always good. Anyway. So... wait, that was... this is the 3rd? I just realised I've been going in one long string. I haven't chopped up the recording at all, so that's the 1st or 2nd or 3rd sunrise. Oh, I forget. I can tell the time of the day by looking at the sun, but I can never remember how many times it's been over, because I did sleep at one point. I can't remember if that... Whatever. Yeah, that's quite a good distance away. Hello, I did not see that. Huh, right, I have to erode that island. It's only a small one. It shouldn't be too hard, unless it's attached to a larger continent which hasn't loaded in yet. It looks like it may have. As you can see, nothing has spawned here over the night, which means we were out of range of the mini base over there. So at the moment I'm sort of working on lots of individual projects, each of which will help another. So for example, the sheep field has gone to help the space elevator, the mob farm will also go to help the space elevator, and in addition it will help with the underground TARDIS cavern thing. No idea what I want to call it yet. And then that's all independent at the moment. And then once I can get into, hopefully in the process of searching and clearing dungeons to, not dungeons, cave systems to light up the underground there, I'll hopefully find some melon seeds. And once I find melon seeds, as you already know, I have the nether wart, and then I can start properly using our mob base over there. So it's all starting to come together. And that's one of the things I've noticed when you start playing Minecraft. Essentially, you have to start off with a project in mind. You have to make sure you know what you want to do, and you make sure you don't lose interest in the process of doing it. Sort of a lot of there's no real end game to this game, so a lot of it is thinking what do I want to build next, and then how do I build it. And so most of it comes down to how much spare time do you have, because eventually you will run out of things to build, and then it's, unless, well, I don't want to be, I'm not trying to say everyone is the same, but a lot of people will finish what they want to build and then they'll lose interest because they don't have any more inspiration. That's possibly a bit of a stereotype, but it is the case with a lot of people. I'm trying to make it as much, my map as much, sorry, don't know what I'm going to say. Trying to make my map as diverse as possible. I'm not sure if that's even the right thing to say either, but I'm trying to do a lot of different things and get as much new stuff going on here as possible. I left the gold on the island, didn't I? Oh dear, I'm awful at this. What am I trying to do? Let's take this back to base. It's a lot of wool, a lot of bread. What I've been doing, I was clearing out the wheat fields near the village to to clear them out while I was working on this. There, all that stuff was growing. So every hour I went over there, harvested it all, and probably got about 6, maybe 7 stacks of wheat from each trip there. So now I've got plenty of wool. Why do I say wool? Bread sounds nothing like wool. What am I on about? Another addition to, sorry, just trying to think of things to say. Another addition to 1.3 is the super biome. As you can see at the moment, we've got 3 biomes, possibly 4 really, crashing into each other at the moment. We've got desert over there, swamp over there, another swamp on that side, forest, and then plains, and then ocean. So lots of biomes crashing into each other at a certain point. Well, that's really going to happen all the time really, because the crossroads between biomes. However, with 1.3 they're bringing out super biomes, which as of it will apply to current builds. Oh, lawnmower started outside, hang on a second. Right, where was I? So yes, as of 1.3 the super biomes will be much larger, and it will apply to current worlds, I believe. So it will just apply on the new stuff you generate as you walk around. so hence why I don't want to travel too far out there, because it might generate a super desert biome, which gives us a great chance to find any of the desert structures which will be added. And these biomes are very huge. They're about, I think it was about 20. I don't want to go into exact numbers because I may be getting it wrong, and I likely am, but I think it's approximately 15 to 20 times. No, it can't be it. It must be about 5 or 10 times larger. They are more realistic in comparison to continents on Earth, really. What have we got going down here? The grass is growing quite well. As you can see, I've started building this sort of platform thing. I want to create a series of pathways within this base. I don't want it to just be a stone floor. So this is going to be the central runway. And then there's going to be more these wood blocks here. And the path will carry on like this and down here, and this will go to the chicken farm. And this one around the other side will go to the animal pen, which, as you can see, is still going quite well. They haven't been murdered yet. Neither has any of that stuff growing though. Oh, I think I missed a bit up there. Yep. I'm not sure if you've seen all the new features I've added to this place. I think you have. There's still a lot of stone. Actually, I could finish off the elevator using that. That should be enough, but nonetheless we have more cobblestone, and there'll be much more on the way once we start hollowing out the cavern. Wrong chest. Dirt. What else needs to go into this one? Oh, my organisation is awful. Gunpowder. No, we're going to need those. What am I doing? What we will need, however, is one of those. And one needs to go in. Put the gold in. Move that to there. That to there. Bread is another big one. Okay, we've got lots of wood. I'd forgotten about that. That's plenty of wood. Wood for days. Wood. Oh my days, I'm awful at this. I mean, bread. Bread has just turned into everything else now. I don't know what I'm talking about. Good. Okay. Let's convert that. And convert that. Let's find the right chest. Which one am I looking for? 6 of those. Oh, that is very annoying. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to convert all of this now. 1, 2, need that. Also need that. And once again I'm going to need another one of those, because I stupidly converted all that into pickaxes instead of wood axes. What a muppet. It's the second time I've done that as well. It's starting to get a tad old. That's more like it. Okay. Now, how many? This is going to be. Actually, this isn't going to be very much considered. Okay, let's get the double chests going as well, so we know how much we've got spare. That's 2 double chests. Three double chests, right. Let's see how this goes. 1 block space in between. That was 2, I can't count. There's a surprise. Well, at least we're not going to run out of wood slabs anytime soon. Okay, right, so my next stage of this is to be just harvesting wood. Fortunately, I have a patch. I did have a patch, where's it gone? Huh. I did have a patch in the middle here, which I was harvesting wood on, but it seems I've gone OCD and just replaced it with stone. Let's see, we need about 17, let's go with that. Again, wrong chest. Already had a pickaxe. I'm going crazy, what is going on? Okay. No, right there. Can't be too close to that wall on the right there, otherwise it won't plant them. I may be too close as it is. Certainly probably too close to that one. Okay, so one of the advantages of this is you can simply do this. Not that. Bam. Very efficient trees. And then, if I wanted to, I could shear all that and get well, lots of leaf blocks, and then I could just strip away the remaining wood. So that makes for very efficient wood farming. The only disadvantage of this is that I know of, if you get a super tree, as I call them, and they don't notice, and you continue to add more and more wood, trees to it, it just makes a massive tree, which is almost, well, it takes, huge amounts of time to clear. Alright, so I'm going to crack on with this, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, welcome back. So, just as I said earlier, super tree. Just gone and filled up the entire cavern with the super tree. What I did here though, I tried to see if birch saplings will, follow the same rules as oak trees, and they do not. You can't place birch trees, next to each other and plant them. It just doesn't work, and it's actually just using up bone meal to no avail. So I just tried to add one in. Well, that was the first one that went in. Then I placed that one, and then that one. What a monster. And I didn't notice it because I just went along like this, looked up. Great. So anyway, I'm going to crack on with harvesting plenty of wood. It's been quite a long time. I've been rambling for quite a while. I hadn't actually realised how long I'd been going. So I'm going to end the episode here. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.